Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. Now, just before we begin, I just saw this, like literally, no joke, just saw this, and I wanted to quickly talk about it. What am I gonna talk about? Well, I don't know, I might segue this into its own video, I might do something on this, because one of the things I really want to do is maybe, like, if we cover something on a particular stream, but I feel like this thing that we're covering needs its own subject, I might cut it out of the stream and then make it into its own sort of topic as a video. So maybe people who want to talk about it with me, if you're live with me right now, hello, good to see you all here. Other game expert, Sonic the Saiyan Hog, good to see you here. If you're live with me now, we can talk about it now, but if you're seeing this, I might segue it as its own video, who knows. But the thing I want to talk about, which no, it's not dabbing, I already done that for $20 for Ethan, which hopefully he gets on here tonight. He normally likes to catch the Pokemon streams, which yes, this is being done in a Pokemon stream, but again, might cut this into its own video, is I literally just saw some news about Nintendo on Twitter. Now this is some really interesting news that I actually do want to cover before we get into the main event of the stream, which again, if you're watching this and I did make it my own video, that'll be the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Part 9 stream, where I'm talking about this. So I just saw on Twitter this thing about Nintendo data miners and Nintendo Switch. It says on here, Dataminers Dataminer finds mention of 4 emulators in Switch Online NES app. So, some data miners went on their Nintendo Switches, or like a data miner went on his Switch, decided he'd do some digging, you know, grabbed his good old technological shovel and decided he would, you know, get in there. He done some digging and he found that the Nintendo Switch Online app has 4 emulators in it. Now, as someone who likes Nintendo Switch, someone who has been yelling at Nintendo like a concerned father, please give me Virtual Console. I've been saying this since the Switch's conception, even, like, you know, someone who just likes, and someone who also likes emulators as well. Like, I'm a person who likes to play on emulator to get the best experience of games, and also, well, most of my old game consoles I don't even have, but I still have my games, and I just like to play them in top quality. And again, someone who'd love to play all his old games on the go, this is actually quite interesting, the fact that there are 4 emulators on Nintendo Switch's online app. This is interesting for me in 2 ways. Way number 1 is, this means that Nintendo don't even use, like, their own, like, sort of firmware to, like, or, like, software to run Switch Online's NES. They use an emulator. Like, Nintendo using emulators. This is funny to me, because not too long ago, Nintendo actually shut down a couple of emulators for this very reason. Or they've at least tried to shut down, because let's be real, emulation's on PC, and no one ever stops working on PC. No one ever stops working on emulation. Emulation's one of them things will probably never die unless computing dies, which I don't see computing dying. If anything, computing's getting a lot better. So, yeah, Nintendo, not gonna lie, a bit hypocritical there, you trying to shut down emulators, but I get why, because you're doing your own emulator. Well, actually, you've done your own emulator twice. You've done NES Classic, and you've done Switch Online app. Both emulators that you use to play your old games, which I get it, you own the games. So people putting them on computer, not very fair, but at the same time, I find it a bit funny that instead of coming up with your own way of just bringing these back, you're like, we'll just use an emulator. But the second thing that's really interesting is the fact that there is 4 emulators being cited, because we obviously know that Nintendo Switch Online comes with NES Classic, which is what I'm highlighting right here. It comes with the NES emulator, which hopefully in the future I do plan on covering. I do plan on playing some NES games on my Nintendo Switch. Again, thank you to Ethan for letting me get Nintendo Switch Online with his lovely donation, which I have been making a lot of use of, so, you know, and again, I will be making use of, especially with this. But they have found, so they found a bunch of names for this. I'm gonna butcher these probably in pronunciation. Kichaki, or Kichachi, Kanoe, Hiyoko, and Count. These are the 4 different names, which one of them translates to NES Classic, the other one is SNES Classic, so we even have confirmation of Super Nintendo games coming to Nintendo Switch, and then we have Hiyoko and Count. Now, my theory is, because as someone who wants, really wants this to be true, because they said they might do this, and they said they were going to do this, but then obviously Nintendo had a change of president, and they said that this could be a thing. For me personally, I'm really excited that SNES is coming, because I do want to play more SNES games on the go, or on the toilet, because, you know, that's the joke I always make with my Switch, although sometimes I'm not actually kidding, I do play it on the toilet. My theory my theory is that the last two, Hyoko and Count, my theory is that Hyoko is N64 and Count is GameCube. Now, I'm really hoping that that's the case. I'm really hoping that those two are N64 and GameCube, because I really would love it if Nintendo brought N64 to the Switch so that I could play N64 anywhere. That would be amazing. But the biggest one is GameCube. If they bring GameCube, because when the Switch was in development, okay, and I did rant about this in my NES Online stream, which you can check out, the video is out somewhere on the channel. Dig deep and find it. And enjoy it, because I didn't, you know, stream that and then release it as a video for nothing. But if they've made it so that, if this is actually how, because if this is how they're going to bring Virtual Console, okay, they're doing it slowly, and I wish they'd done it a bit faster. They could have done it a bit faster. And it is locked now behind a paid subscription, which isn't that expensive. And I can't complain because I had it gifted to me by Ethan, so, you know, bonus points. But if this is how they're going to do it, I understand why. I do wish that Switch Online had better servers, though, because, yo, like all the game experts saying, getting Switch Online so you can 1v1 me in Smash, dude, the servers aren't that great in Smash, still, and we're paying for decent servers. I wish Nintendo could just bump up the server quality a little bit, and then it will be worth the price range, but at the same time, if those last two are N64 and GameCube, then I have a reason to want to get Switch Online, because just to play NES, okay, not really. To play NES and SNES, maybe, but N64, GameCube, like, if they give me a reason, like, with N64 and GameCube being on the Switch, N64 and GameCube, wherever I go, for the mere, you know, £17 a year, that's $20 a year, £17 a year, or £30, and I think, what is it, $40 or $50 for a family bundle? Not bad. It's still cheaper than PSN, it's still cheaper than Xbox Live, it's still cheaper than Xbox Game Pass, which, yeah, Xbox has two of them. Actually, PlayStation kind of do with PlayStation Now. But still, and PlayStation Now is just streaming. This is actually games being put on your system. They're not being streamed to your system. They're being put on your system. If they manage to make it so that, yeah, N64, GameCube, the consoles that I really want on this emulator come to fruition on here, then that'll be great. That'll actually give me a reason to want to care about Switch Online. Again, I'm just okay with the fact that it was gifted to me, and I appreciate that it was gifted to me, because I am going to make use of it. I am going to cover Switch Online again at some point in the future. I will even use the NES app to go back and play some old games for future Let's Plays. But Hyoko and Count better count, pun intended, for something. If these two are what I think they are, then I'm going to be really excited. If Hyoko is N64, if Count is GameCube, the biggest one being GameCube, if just one of them is GameCube, then we have ourselves a pretty nice solid lineup, gradual solid lineup, but Nintendo do want to make the Switch last a really long time. We have a really nice solid lineup for Nintendo to give us Virtual Console in a new, different way. Again, it's locked behind an online subscription. Okay, I guess they need it because they want the money. Let's face it, developers need the money so they can spend it on working on other stuff. Other companies do it for free, PC does it for free, but then again, the amount of money you have just to build a PC, like, that's not expensive. But for a mere $20, £17 or £18, okay, if they give me GameCube, if they give me N64, okay, it better not be Game Boy or Game Boy Advance, okay? We've seen that before. 3DS has Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. No Game Boy on Switch, okay? I want my 3D consoles on Nintendo Switch. I don't want Game Boy. I don't want Game Boy Advance. I don't want any more 2D consoles on Switch. Switch is a fully 3D 1080p docked, 720p docked system. Let's make use of those 3D games. They won't look entirely that good, but at least we're getting them on the go. Because to play GameCube on the go, my Luigi's Mansion 1, like, you know, my Mario 64, my Mario Sunshine even being able to play Mario Kart Double Dash on the go with online, that sold it to me. So please, Nintendo, if you are seeing this, I don't know why you would, because this is a small-time channel, but I'm pretty sure some big-time channels are covering this too. Please make these two what I think they are. N64, GameCube. Please. Now, like I said, I might make this its own video, so if people want to sort of chat with me about this, Let me know in the comments down below, or right now in the chat. Either way, though, I'm about to segue into the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee stream. So, yeah, here we go. This is now where the Eevee stream shall begin.